Welcome to The Wrong Time. I'm Jack Meno.
I'm Eli Buto.
I'm Nate Jones. And I'm Bill Jukes.
And today, it is the wrong time to be Eli Buto after every single one of his predictions last week was totally wrong.
Yeah, you have your off weeks and your on weeks, you know what I mean? Maybe this week will be a little bit better.
You had your lock as Washington over Oregon. And
That
Oregon
was close, though.
Oregon, let me talk here, Bill.
All
Oregon
right.
completes the upset. Penn State loses his actual team. And his upset of Memphis UCF, out the window.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis blew it, and yeah, it was a rough week for me, not going to lie.
So let's talk about Oregon a little bit here. How do we feel about Oregon going forward? And the whole Pac-12.
I think they're good, but
Not a playoff team.
I also think Washington's not bad either. I mean, if that kicker would have made that field goal at the end of, like, with regulation running down, they would have won 27-24. Then it ends up going into overtime, and
Yeah, I mean,
since after that miss, Oregon had momentum, so they.
I think Oregon's a good team, and I could see them in the Rose Bowl, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. Not because they aren't a good team, but they're not going to get any help from the Pac-12. The Pac-12 looks really weak outside of Oregon.
I think that Oregon wins the Pac-12 this year just because Washington stays in first in the Pac-12 right now, even though we beat them. So we'll play Washington for the Pac-12 championship, and it'll be a good game, but I think that Oregon can pull it off again. And I think that they'll get a pretty good bowl game, but I don't see them as a playoff team just because of their loss to Stanford earlier in the season.
They wouldn't be playing Washington in it. They're in the same division.
Oh, yeah, they're both in the North. Who's winning in the South right now?
Probably Stanford. I'll check real quick.
Who's not looking very hot right now, so I think
It's
I do-
actually USC. Stanford's in the
Okay,
North.
Yeah, I do
Oregon,
agree that
yeah.
Oregon should win the.
Oh, you
Pac-
guys see UCLA won their first game?
I did not see that.
Yeah, they won. I don't know what the score was, but all I know is they won.
Yeah, they beat
And they're,
They beat Cal 37-7.
yeah,
Cal was
Cal-
ranked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they suck now.
Yeah,
Oregon beat
3-3.
They're trash.
Yeah, Oregon handled them pretty well.
My lock loss as well. Georgia took the L to LSU. That was I don't even.
I said that. I said that LSU was going to be a good team and that they were going to give Georgia a problem because I couldn't think of any assets that Georgia had that were going to be like huge.
And that's going to shape up for hopefully a fun LSU Bama game. The way
Yeah.
Bama's rolling right now, I don't know, but that's what most of us thought about LSU Georgia too.
I don't
Hopefully
think that
that
there's
comes
any
out to
way
a
you
good
can
game.
stop Alabama. I think that they automatically win the playoff every single year.
I don't know. I don't think this is going to hurt Georgia that bad. I mean, last year they lost to Auburn like this, and then they ended up going to the national championship game and almost winning it. So
Right.
I think this could be good for them too.
Right.
So don't count them out yet.
Yeah, definitely not. And that could set up for two SEC teams at the same time because LSU's looking
I
good,
think we're
Bama's
going to
looking
see two
good,
SEC
and Georgia.
teams in the playoff again.
So then you got Notre Dame too,
No, I mean Notre Dame is playing really well.
and they have such a weak schedule. If they had a tougher schedule, I could see them losing. So that's 3. Then Ohio State
Ohio State's.
and Clemson. That's 5 right there. So I mean, something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna lose. Something crazy's gonna happen. You got Oregon sitting on the outside, but
No, I think-
something
I
crazy's
think
gonna
Ohio's-
happen.
I think this might be the year Ohio State loses to Michigan.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even be.
Michigan's been playing really well.
I'm gonna say right now-
they crushed Wisconsin Saturday night.
Michigan State, they did not look good. I get beating Penn State even though they won. Penn State looked awful. But I think Michigan State has Michigan and Ohio State at home. I think that they'll pull one of those two off, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ohio State the way Ohio State's looking right now. Not too great.
I
They
think
didn't start
that
off the Minnesota game very well either.
Nope.
They've been looking slow these past couple of weeks. In the second half, they pull away, but the
And it's
first
at
half's
home,
been
too.
slow.
I think that Michigan can make a legitimate run for the playoff.
Yeah, I
With
mean, they went
their-
out. They're in, no doubt, unless
They're
I mean,
Clemson
because-
and
right
Notre
now.
Dame went out.
They're 6 right now, and you have
And their only losses, and it was like not a bad loss to Notre Dame, who's
4
who's
right now.
really good right now too.
So you have Michigan sitting at 6, and if Michigan wins out and a top 4 team loses, you can see Michigan sneaking in there at 4.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And who knows
If-
what
if they
the
win
college playoff
Big-
committee
Big
has them
Ten,
at
though.
too.
They'd
Because
have to
AP
win Big
poll
Ten.
doesn't really matter. College football playoff committee could have them at 4 somehow, or they could have them at 12 somehow. You just never know, or 6.
It all depends.
Speaking of Notre Dame, actually, Pitt gave them a run for their money. That was crazy.
That was close.
That was a close game. Pitt almost beat them. Pitt had to lead the whole game.
Yeah, it'd be
They
classic
showed
Pitt to
finally
beat them
scored.
too. They've looked rough other than the past
I mean-
couple weeks, and they only lost by 5.
Think about it. That would have been the past 3 years. Pitt upset a top 10 team.
Top 5 team.
They
Yeah,
still play-
Clemson, Miami.
Do they still play Clemson this year?
No.
Or they already
No.
lost there.
I remember I was at that.
No, they
that
don't play at
Miami
all.
Pitt game last year in Pittsburgh. That was awful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Pitt loves to ruin some hopes.
Yeah, they do.
Speaking of Miami lost to Virginia.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. All right, everyone was saying how our new freshman quarterback Nkosi Perry was going to do really good and replace Malik Rozier. That didn't happen. He threw 2 picks. We eventually benched him, put Rozier back in. I mean, our defense is top in the country.
Yeah, I mean,
I
he
mean,
only gave up 16 points.
We should have. I mean, I think they only had 1 touchdown or something like that, 1 or 2. I don't know. They dropped from the rankings. If we can find a decent quarterback, I think we will be very good. Because our defense, the way it is playing right now, them in Michigan are like top 2 right now in tackles for loss.
Yeah, I mean, Rozier and Perry combined for 15 of 29 for 190 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
And they have
It's
some
not-
athletes,
it's
but they
not
need a
good.
quarterback.
Another
to
team that
distribute the
lost
ball.
was West Virginia.
Philly's
I
upset
called
pick.
I called that.
And it wasn't like a weird upset or fluke game or kicking field goal at the end. It was they handled them.
30-14. Will Greer didn't play his best.
Yeah, he had like 100 passing yards.
Yeah, he wasn't on his A game. I still like him a lot, though. I think he's going to be very good in the NFL. But Iowa State's not bad. They're 3-3 right now. They could still They're going to make a run and make a bowl game.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like
And,
that game
They're not a
also
bad. They're not a bad team.
brought Greer's ranking from Heisman watch.
Yeah, even after last week's game against Kansas,
Yeah.
after struggling against them, I think that's what started his decline. And I think you can basically say from this, unless he has a crazy rest of the year,
And Tua slows down and Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins,
Yeah.
and there's no way he's going to get the Heisman. This knocks him out.
Definitely.
I think that Justin Herbert sneaks in the Heisman right now. I think he's top 3 Heisman contender. The way that he's been playing is just ridiculous. I think that he can definitely make a huge run at the Heisman.
Yeah, and then you got Mackenzie Milton from UCF too. If he keeps on showing out, then he could find himself in New York for the ceremony at the end of the year also.
I still think Tua is probably going to win it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Unfortunately, nobody really has a chance against Tua, just because.
He's lights out. Out.
But he hasn't faced like a true challenging opponent, so we have to see
Yeah,
towards the end.
but the thing is, like, all these opponents.
Alabama
they're
hasn't played
putting up,
Auburn
like,
yet.
60.
They haven't played their huge Kentucky. Auburn always beats Alabama.
Yeah, I think
They
it'll be-
always beat Alabama.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry game, and then LSU coming up too.
Alabama's they're gonna have a tough schedule, but I think they're gonna be able to pull through it.
Yeah, something.
I do too, but
Alabama
something's
just
gonna
looks-
happen.
I'm
So
just
good.
putting it out there that Tua hasn't had a like clutch situation he has to go into. I mean, besides the national championship,
Yeah.
Yeah, this year.
there hasn't been this year. He hasn't really been tested at all. I mean, who did they just play the other week? What the hell was
This
their
week?
name?
Missouri.
No, it was like some stupid school. I mean, they're playing all these fluke schools until they play all these SEC teams. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, I mean they played Arkansas, who's looking really bad. They played Louisiana Lafayette.
that's who it was. Louisiana Lafayette. Like
Arkansas State a few weeks before that too.
I think they play the Citadel at the end of the year. That's always a good 70-point route.
no, they play the Citadel.
Yeah, second.
They play Auburn for their last game.
Yeah, so but they get to prepare with the Citadel.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they have Tennessee, and they play LSU in a couple weeks. But even when they play LSU, that's coming off of a bye. So, and then you got basically Auburn off of a bye too, playing the Citadel.
So, you guys want to talk about anything else in college football? You guys want to move on to the NFL?
We'll move on to the NFL.
NFL.
I
Yeah,
think
big
that wraps
week.
it up. All right, big week in the NFL. You guys want? Let's just start with the game of the week, and I think everyone's opinions. The Chiefs at the Patriots.
That was a close game, and I think
was a
that
really
Patrick
close
Mahomes
game.
definitely solidified that he's a legitimate quarterback in that game.
In the first
Started off
half,
slow.
in the
first
first
quarter,
half,
9 in the first half.
First
He
half,
had to
he
make
looked
a comeback
really
too.
bad.
He just looked
is why,
shaky.
Which is why I think that he solidified that he's a great quarterback. Because you're going to be down that far in the first half, and you're going to make a run back in the second half.
Against the Patriots.
Against the Patriots.
In New
I mean,
England.
the loss, you have to look past the loss and look at Patrick Mahomes' stats. First half to second half. First half he struggled, but second half he's going to come back and throw for like 200 yards. And a couple
in total, he
touchdowns.
threw for 352 yards, 4 touchdowns.
That's
with those
ridiculous.
two
That's amazing. I mean, but you're gonna have to play against Tom Brady and the loaded Patriots every year. I mean, there's no way you can stop him any year. I mean, Tom Brady's shaky towards the beginning every year, but then he gets it together, and the Patriots end up going to the AFC Championship no matter what.
Yeah, and
Sorry about Billy. Can't stop dropping things and making noise. Anyway.
What was my half dollar or full
It's a dollar
coin? Yeah, I was trying to get a drink out of the vending machine. I'm so pissed because like I don't want coins because I know I'm gonna lose them or I'm gonna like just
All right,
give me back
anyway.
$1.
but
I
All
can't
right,
just
we'll-
spit out $1 from the
Why
machine.
can't
Where
it?
do you
I
want
put
it
a
from?
5. I put a 5 in, and it spit that back out.
wait,
You
that's
put
it.
a 5 in and it only gave you $1 coin back?
No. I did it twice. I had $1.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
But
Let's
other
get
than
off
Tom
that.
Brady, I mean, Sony Michel looked really, really good too. He had over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns, averaged just shy of 4.5 yards per carry, and it wasn't. Tom Brady looked really good, but it wasn't just the Tom Brady show.
It was the Tyreek Hill show.
That's true.
7 catches, 142 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I mean, he's
That's good.
He had a game.
He's a
he's a
monster.
weapon.
Did you see when he celebrated the Patriots fan poured beer on him?
Yeah, and give him the bird.
Gave him the bird.
I don't. Boston.
Ruthless. Boston fans are ruthless.
Boston fans.
Boston fans and New York fans, you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, no. All right, and then, but the thing is, with the Chiefs' offense, any defense, you're gonna have a tough time slowing them down. Cause, all right, think about, they took away Kelsey, who only had like 5 catches for like 60 yards. They take him away, but then that leaves open Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt. Cause Kareem Hunt had 5 for 105 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, you could, and then you got Sammy Watkins sitting
He's
there
not-
at
he's not
2
bad.
catches for 18 yards. But if you're gonna let everybody else, if you're gonna double cover everybody else, Sammy Watkins is still a threat.
Exactly. All right, so you guys see Gronk's stiff arm?
That was nasty.
He threw that guy to the ground. I think the best part about the game last night is that it was actually a good game. Because like all those like games that have the hype built up around them,
Yeah, I was kind of
like
afraid.
all week, like a game that gets like hyped up all week, it's a terrible game.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
this was actually, it lived up to the hype and it was a really good game. to
Definitely with the
watch.
start of the game, the way it was looking.
Yeah,
I didn't really know how it would.
but it turned out to be
Yeah, I mean,
a
it was
really good game.
Yeah, it was 24-9 at halftime, but Chiefs outscored the Patriots by 14 in the third quarter.
So do you guys think that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC despite they don't have the same record?
I don't.
I think the Chiefs are better than them.
Yeah.
I think if
the
it
Chiefs
was
are better.
all right, they lost by 3. How many points is made up because it was in New England? I think if it was at Kansas City, the Chiefs would have won.
The good
And
thing
if
is
the Chiefs
that
keep winning, then they'll have that chance at home in the playoffs
these
against
two
the Patriots.
that these two teams will face each other again in the AFC Championship game.
Oh, I think that's guaranteed. I think these are the 2 best teams in the AFC, and I think they will be in the AFC Championship. I think it's going to end up. I think that the Chiefs are going to lose some more games,
Yeah, definitely.
and
This is-
due to the Patriots' weak division, they're going to have a lot of wins, and I think they're going to end up getting home field advantage, that number 1 seed. And I think the Chiefs are going to go back to Foxborough and have to play the Patriots, and I think the Patriots are going to get them again. I think it's going to be a good game.
This is what happens every year. The Chiefs start out hot, and then they lose.
But this isn't the same
So
Chiefs
many
team, though.
games.
This isn't the same
Listen,
Chiefs team.
listen. They had good quarterback. Alex Smith is a good quarterback.
Alex Smith is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And you're going to start off hot with him consecutive years, and then you're going to almost miss the playoffs every year and then lose in the first round that you play. But with Patrick Mahomes, it could be different. It's the same team except Patrick Mahomes, which is why I'm thinking we can't start hyping them up
Solidifying.
too much. You can't say with like confidence that the Chiefs are going to keep this the whole season, because I think that even though Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, it's the same Chiefs team except him. So it can only you got to wait until it's later in the season to make the bold predictions.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say for sure that they're going to the AFC Championship just quite yet.
Who else is in the AFC that's going to stop them?
I think the Steelers are looking good.
The Steelers gave the Chiefs a run for their money. I mean, that's the team that can compete. And if the
And that's
Steelers
when they
get
were
their-
looking bad too. When
If the
Steelers were
Steelers get
looking
their
bad.
crap together, then they can be a team again. They lost to the Chiefs 42-37. So, and that was after losing 28-0 in the first quarter.
But do you think their defense can stop?
The
That's
Pats
what the
couldn't.
problem-
The Pats couldn't either.
That's what the problem with the Steelers is their defense. That's the one thing holding them back from going all the way. In my opinion, I think that the Steelers' offense is loaded. I think that they can do whatever they want with their offense. It's their defense that's holding them back. You have Artie Burns starting at corner. He gets burned every time someone goes on a deep
You have
route.
Joe Hayden, who can't stay healthy.
Joe
ever.
Hayden always
Joe
gets
Hayden's
hurt.
old too. How old is he? Like
He's only like 29.
You know, yeah, he's not.
He's not that- he
seems
might
like
not
he's
even
been
be
around
29.
the block a while.
He was on the Browns for 5 years, and then now he's on the Steelers.
You just can't stay healthy. You just can't stay healthy.
And
That's the big
that.
thing.
Joe Hayden's a great corner, and it's our safeties. We have Morgan Burnett, who's been hurt all season, who we got him from the package. He's a vet, and he'd really help us. And I can't even name our
Sean
safeties.
Davis.
Sean Davis, Cody Sensabaugh. It's no one you can have. And we lack middle linebackers after Shazier went and got paralyzed. Like, come on. That's what's holding the Steelers back is their defense.
I mean, they're
And
off.
Which is why
and-
I think they would struggle against Kansas City. Which is why I think they won't.
They already proved that they will struggle in the first
they
half.
won't be able to get to the AFC Championship.
They
though.
almost
If they
beat
played
them.
if they played a full game, they would have not only beat the Chiefs, but beat the Chiefs in a better fashion than the Pats beat the Chiefs.
If the Steelers don't lose 28-0 in the first quarter, if they score a couple points and hold them back a little bit, the Steelers win that game. It's all about circumstances. I mean, if the Steelers' defense doesn't suck, they win the Super Bowl every year.
Exactly. You're saying the Steelers' defense sucks. What if that happens again?
See,
'Cause
what
you
That's
just-
what you
you
get. That's
just-
what everyone said about the when you guys played against the Jaguars last year when you guys got crushed. That hey, this is a better team. That's what happened last time. But you guys played against the Jags in the playoffs and still lost.
Barely. But
Still lost.
what I'm thinking is, okay, the Browns haven't been to the playoffs in like 30
I
years.
didn't say
So-
anything about the Browns. I just said that they lost.
What I'm
Facts.
trying to say here is the Steelers defense usually gets it together near the end of the season. It happens every year, but we end up losing to the Patriots in the playoffs. Last year was a special case with the Jaguars because Leonard Fournette ran for like 100 billion yards. But I think that it's going to be a little different this year, and I think that the top three teams in the AFC are Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, and I think that it's going to be pretty even the whole way.
Would you agree with that the Steelers are a top 3 team in the AFC?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wouldn't agree that they're better than the Chiefs, though.
What I'm not saying that they're better than the Chiefs. I'm saying that they have potential to be better than the Chiefs. The Patriots are always going to be top of the AFC until Tom Brady retires. I think that's just my opinion.
All right, so we covered the 3 divisions in the AFC. Let's move on to the AFC South with the Jaguars as the preseason pick to win it. They got crushed yesterday by the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are struggling. They're a
think
bad
Conor
team.
McGregor
They were
helped them a
they
lot
were
win that game.
struggling.
They still are, Bill.
They're 3-3. We beat Washington this coming week.
Ooh, Washington.
First place.
Wow.
I'm just
Good job.
saying
Good job,
we
Cowboys.
could win our division and make it to the playoffs because our division is so weak.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the Cowboys are a great team or a good team.
We get to the playoffs, something could happen. We could light it up.
Lose in the first round to the Rams or something.
No, the Rams are gonna get
You'd
number
lose to
1
like
seed.
the Vikings.
Yeah, you lose to the Vikings.
All right.
That's who
Anyway,
you draw first round. Even if
Anyway.
you did beat the Vikings, you get crushed by the Rams.
anyway, The Jags defense looked terrible.
They have the past 2 weeks too.
What's up?
I think that the Jags fell off. I think Leonard Fournette got hurt, and I think that that's their driving force behind their offense. Blake Bortles obviously is a below mediocre quarterback. He can't do anything without Leonard Fournette to dump or hand the ball off to. So I think that the absence of Leonard Fournette has made the Jaguars a worse team.
Yeah, 'cause Blake Bortles is not good.
No, and he doesn't have any weapons to throw it to. I mean, even if you're a bad quarterback, you can at least throw a bad ball and have a good wide receiver go up to get it. I mean, that's what Ben Roethlisberger does with Antonio Brown. He'll just chuck it up, and Antonio Brown will go get it.
I don't know.
I just think that the Jaguars are severely overrated.
Yeah, but that division is so weak.
Exactly.
So I think
Yeah, I mean
I don't know. The Titans are 3-3,
and look terrible.
but they got
their offensive
crapped
line
on
looked
by
terrible.
the
11 sacks against the Ravens.
yeah. I don't know. I like Mariota. They won a playoff game last year, but they need to do something about that offensive line.
And
That's
Mariota is a very good quarterback if you put him behind a good offensive line. If you're going to have an offensive line made of Swiss cheese, then you're not going to have a good
You get a
quarterback.
sack. You get a sack.
What do you think about Houston in that division?
That's a negative. Houston's never gonna pull that out. Not this year.
I don't know.
They're on a 3-game win streak after starting 0-3.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it
him.
happening. The lack of quarterback is just.
I don't
too
know. I don't know.
prevalent.
Deshaun Watson is not terrible though.
I'm still not on.
He's
the,
had
I'm not
he's
on
had
the
300-yard
Deshaun
games
Watson.
except for 2 weeks maybe.
All right, now let's move to the NFC. What are the big events, Bill?
So we have. I don't know. Well,
Adam
we could talk
Thielen.
about last night. The
Or last night.
Packers almost lost to 1-5 now 49ers. They didn't look too good.
Well, when you have Aaron Rodgers, there's really not much problem you're gonna run into. I mean, he can do anything. He can.
Devontae Adams has also played a very good game yesterday.
He did. He had a really nice game. But do you trust the Packers after that? Like, say if they're playing a better team than the 49ers. I don't think they can. They're going to be down by so many points, I think.
Yeah, they need to have something else other than a passing game too. I mean,
'Cause,
the
like,
passing
if
game's
it's
insane, but you can't be just
Yeah.
relying on the passing game. Their second leading rusher was Rodgers with 34 yards.
And
Their leading
21 of
rusher had
those
41 yards.
Yeah, 21 of those came on the last drive on a run up the middle.
I mean, their leading rusher had 41 yards, but he averaged over 5 yards per carry. It's not like he wasn't doing well. They just weren't giving him the ball because they got down early and they had to throw it, and they just weren't balanced.
Yeah, the Packers defense needs to step up big time.
On the other side, though, they had 3 receivers over 100 yards, which is obviously
Who?
positive. It was
Devontae, the kid
Jimmy,
from Notre Dame.
Jimmy Graham, and then the Marquez Valdez Scantling.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, he had 3 catches for 103 yards.
Dang.
It's working, and then they'll get Randall Cobb back.
Yep.
So, the Packers are always going to be good. I think they're probably going to either win the division or get in the wild
I don't
card.
think they'll win. The Bears are looking nice this year. The Vikings
I
still.
still don't trust the
Vikings still
Bears, though. It's the
But
Bears.
they're looking
Yeah,
nice
but
though.
the
They're looking
Packers
nice.
still did beat them.
Yeah, I don't trust the Bears.
They have a pretty good defense. Mitch Trubisky is just ascending each game.
I think the Bears win that division.
I think the Bears win the
I
division,
think
the
and then
Bears
the Vikings get the
can.
wild card.
I think
the
they
Vikings,
can. I don't think they will.
I think it's going to be the Vikings and Bears going to the playoffs from the.
Because,
NFC
well,
North.
the
I think
Bears.
that since the addition of Khalil Mack and Mitch Trubisky being better and better each game, I think that the Bears win that division.
I
They have good
agree, but I
receivers, too.
think the Packers will get in. The Bears their defense is top in the league, and they don't need Trubisky every week throwing like 4 touchdown passes over 300 yards. If they can get him at like just a consistent 2 touchdowns, like 250 a week.
So you still think their
They'll be
defense is one of the top in the league? Like, you think they'll stay up there?
I think they can.
I don't think they will, though. They gave up 31 points to Brock Osweiler and the Dolphins.
They had a letdown. I mean, but look at the whole year.
Yeah.
They've looked really good.
I don't think that they can. I don't think their defense can stay near the top.
for so long.
Yeah.
I
don't think they can sustain.
you think
the whole
they'll make the
season.
playoffs though?
I don't think they'll win the division. I think if they make the playoffs, it'll be as a wild card. I'm not for sure yet, though. I don't think I can say for sure if they're going to make the playoffs yet.
So who do you have out of the NFC in the playoffs?
Obviously, I think the Packers are going to win the division. Obviously, the Rams.
Okay.
I think the Eagles will pull through in the East. I don't like the Redskins. Cowboys look good against not a great Jags team, but I think the Eagles will still pull through. And then in the South, I like the Saints. I think they're looking really good. I don't really like the Panthers quite yet. And then for the wild card, I like the Vikings. I like Kirk Cousins. I think they'll make the playoffs. And I'm not for sure on that second wild card yet. I think the Bears might be able to sneak in there, but I'm not sure yet.
I don't think the Packers will be able to win the division. I don't even think
Their defense.
I don't even think the Packers will be able to make the playoffs this year because Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they have
It's
a good passing game,
Rodgers.
but they need a running game. I also don't have that great
Yeah, I
of a
agree with
defense
that.
either. They were struggling against the 49ers, and I don't like you said earlier, like if it's a better team, I don't think they're going to be able to keep on having to do that each week.
All right, so let's move on to the Raiders and the Seahawks. Seahawks blew out the Raiders. What do you think they're going to do with John Gruden?
You got to keep him for at least another year. You have to. You can't put that money down. I think that they'll keep him for at least another year.
I mean, you could easily say the Raiders are the worst team in the NFL right now. You could make that argument.
You could make that argument.
They are really bad.
That's very bold of you to say that the Raiders are the worst team in the NFL.
All right, so
When
Who's
you
worse
have
than them? Who's worse than
teams-
them?
The Cardinals are terrible. The Bills are a shit show right now. I mean, Josh Allen, your starter, he's out for weeks, and you have Nathan Peterman. What are you going to do with that? Like, Nathan Peterman has proved that he does nothing but throw interceptions.
Cardinals only lost to the Seahawks by 3.
It doesn't matter. The Cardinals are just terrible. I don't think what's his name has proved himself enough.
I mean,
What's
he's
their quarterback's name?
Rosen.
Josh
Rosen, yeah. Rosen went into the draft saying that he was the best quarterback in the draft, and he has proved that he is not, in fact, the best quarterback in the draft.
But he's only played. I think he went in week 3 or week 2. He's only played in like.
No one has proved that they're
4
the best.
games.
No one has proved that they're the best quarterback in the draft yet. Like players have good games, players have bad games. Like some weeks Darnold shows that he was the best. Some weeks Baker shows it, and then maybe Rosen. We don't know who the best player was.
Yeah, it'll be a while. But as of now, Rosen hasn't shown much.
I think that the
That's
Raiders are definitely among the worst team in the NFL, but I don't think that you can call them the worst team in the NFL just because
Do you think
They
there is
have-
a worse team in the NFL right now?
the Bills. I think that the Bills are the worst team in the NFL, and I think that they are going to continue to be the worst team in the NFL. And it is very weird for me to say that the Bills are because going into the season, I had the Bills doing okay. And it's very weird to say that the Browns aren't the worst team in the NFL right now. That's something you're going to have to get used to saying because now they're okay.
Yeah, but the Browns also did lose by 14,
They lost by
15?
But the Chargers are an okay
24
team.
to the Chargers, 38-14.
Oh yeah, I was thinking.
Baker wasn't terrible, but receivers were dropping balls. They had
Jarvis Landry
he had
severely underperformed.
He had not much time in the pocket either. It kept on collapsing. He had to either roll out or bounce around and try to make something happen, but it's not working. But I mean, the Chargers aren't bad either. Like people don't give the Chargers enough credit. That Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback. They have good receivers too.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, after
really
watching
good.
that game, I'm way more worried about the Browns' defense because, as you said, the Chargers have weapons, but they just couldn't wrap up at all. And the Chargers, they had so many lanes when they were running the ball. And I get Melvin Gordon's really good; they have a lot of weapons, but they didn't seem prepared at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Browns. Everyone was saying how we were talking about it a couple times last week. How the Browns had a chance at winning 6 or 7 games. I don't see it now.
I can see.
I know it's been 1 game, but I
can see them winning.
I
6
think
games,
I
though.
think they go 4-12.
I can see them winning 6 games. I cannot see them going to the playoffs at all. I
don't
can't
think
see,
anyone
I can't
can.
see
Two
them-
wins right now.
I think
I don't
next
think that's
year.
on
I think
anyone's radar.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think
next
anybody
year-
thought that.
I don't think even next year, I don't think they're on the radar because in the AFC North, the Bengals and the Steelers are the powerhouse of the NFC North.
And even
Or
the
AFC
Ravens are.
and the
looking
Ravens
good.
aren't
And
bad.
the Ravens aren't bad either. The Browns stand no chance of even getting close to winning the division as long as the Steelers and Bengals are good. I mean, yeah, they beat the Ravens, but that's really all that they have so far.
We beat the Ravens. We tied the Steelers. We have the Bengals soon. Like
Yeah, I mean, the Browns, they have 2 wins right now. They still have to play the Steelers, the Ravens, both once, and then they have to play the Bengals twice.
I'm saying the
Which-
Browns being able to even think about making the playoffs next year is a super hot take because I think that they're still a severely mediocre team, and I think
If that.
that mediocre is being like generous. I mean, you still only have 2 wins this year, and that might be all that you get. So let's wait till next year till we start talking about playoffs for the Browns, because I don't see it happening in the near future, just because of the AFC North.
All right, so with all that said, I know Nate tweeted out I think yesterday or the other day. He said people have to start paying more attention to Adam Thielen as a top receiver. So what do you guys think? Should he?
Top 5.
Where are you putting them?
I'm putting him right now as a top 3, and here's why. There's no other receiver in the league that's doing what he is doing right now. That's getting double-digit catches per game. Who's getting over 100 yards? He has over 100 yards in every single game this season. He is playing really good. He was underrated his entire career, and now he's finally getting a chance. I see him as a top 3. I'm seeing him as a top 3.
I mean, if we're going just off stats, yeah, but I think it's much more than just stats.
No
That's
way.
how we had the argument with Saquon last week.
Yeah.
It's hard to just go off stats because
Adam-
of not only who they're playing, but the weapons around them that make them look better.
Adam Thielen is not a top 3 receiver, and he's barely a top 5 receiver. This is the first year that he's done this, and I mean, Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. You put him on any other team, he's not getting 100 yards a game. But with that said,
I think the argument
I
is what if you put OBJ? What if you
Here's my
replace
top-
OBJ with Thielen?
my top 5 in order: Antonio Brown, Julio, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell, maybe Adam Thielen. You can maybe put Michael Thomas in there.
They need to throw Julio the damn ball. That's ridiculous. He has no touchdowns this year.
I'd
He
be
has
very
over
unhappy.
700 yards and no touchdowns.
And definitely
That's
after last year
ridiculous.
and after they said they were gonna
That's
target him more
ridiculous.
often, it's just a straight lie.
And I don't think you can put Odell top 5 right now either. If Odell,
Whenever he gets the
whenever
ball-
he gets on a winning team, Odell can be good. But since he's been on a losing team,
I think it's hard to say.
all he does is pout and
Yeah, he's a baby,
He's a
but
diva.
I mean,
It's not about. I'm not saying that he's a good person. I'm saying that he's a really good wide receiver. and
When
that
they
he
give
can
him
catch
the ball,
anything that gets
yeah.
thrown up to him.
when they give him the
I
ball,
don't care that he's a diva if he's a good wide receiver.
when they target him and it's a decent throw, he won't drop it and he'll get yards after the catch. Even if they had a 3rd down and 5 last Thursday. They gave him the ball on a little flat route. He made 2 men miss and went for the 1st down. I think just not only he can catch anything, but he has yards after the catch too. If you put the ball on target, he's gonna do something with it.
I agree with that.
So to conclude that, no, I don't think that Adam Thielen is a top 3, and he might not even be top 5.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me to put him in
But-
the
He's
top
at least
5.
a top. He's definitely at least a top 5, and you can make an argument for top 3.
I'm not seeing any argument to make him top 3. with
You
those
could
four.
no. You can make an argument for top 5, but there's no way he's a top 30.
So
There's absolutely no way.
who are
he's
you
top
leaving
3.
out in the top 3?
In the top 3,
Who's the top 2?
who's the other 2 in the top
Yeah.
5? DeAndre Hopkins and Odell.
So you're leaving those 2 out, and then you have Antonio and Julio.
Yes.
DeAndre
I think
Hopkins
Hopkins is better.
is
than him.
way, way over Adam Thielen. And I think that Thielen is like 6 or 7 in my list.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
but
he's still good, but
he's
he's just
great.
not.
But it's not a top 5 or 3 caliber kind of guy.
His stats are, but I don't think he is.
I mean, how long do you think he can keep up this pace all year?
You know,
No.
the Vikings really played like sustainable opponents. I mean, he did against the Bills, and who they play last week?
They played against the Cardinals last week.
And he did against the Cardinals. I mean, really the Eagles, and I guess the Rams was an okay game.
Well, the
Jets.
Eagles aren't looking that good this year, so.
Yeah, and the 49ers in week 1.
Yeah,
So-
so I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm saying for sure not top 3 or 5.
Yeah, I think
I-
he'll have another good game against the Jets this coming week. And then they play the Saints, whose defense looks terrible.
Yeah,
Then they play the Lions, who you never know, and then at the Bears. I think it will end at latest against the Bears.
I don't know. I also like AJ Green in the conversation too.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
Did
too. I
you
need
watch
Bruin
the
in
game?
there.
He dropped like 2 or 3 passes that were right on his numbers
Everyone has
against the
bad
Steelers,
games.
though.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah,
has bad games.
But it was
like, look
it
at-
was a big game too. I think that big receivers show out in big games, and he dropped a few passes.
So you wouldn't even put him in top 10.
No, I definitely put him in top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying I don't think he.
AJ
I wouldn't.
Green,
I wouldn't
you
put him in the top 5 right now.
Not right now, but I think he could
Yeah,
finish there this season.
yeah, me too. But I think he needed to be way more clutch than he was.
All right, so that looks like it's gonna do it for this episode of The Wrong Time.
can- All right. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm Jack Meno,
I'm Eli Buto.
I'm Nate Jones.
And I'm Bill Jukes.
and this has been The Wrong Time. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at _TheWrongTime. You can find us anywhere you can listen to a podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. And make sure to like and subscribe.